Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chemistry with Capadia. Today I will be doing a tutorial on how to graph Beer's law. So our Beer's law plot is a absorbance versus concentration graph. So I'm going to show you how to do that in Google Sheets. Okay, so here I have opened up a Google Sheet. So this is my Google Sheet over here. And then I have the instructions for how to do this over here on the right. So the instructions for graphing Beer's Law are in the Beer's Law graphing practice worksheet. So if you go to my viewpoint and you click on the worksheet, there is a PDF that has all of these instructions on it so that you can either follow along, or if you forget and you need a refresher, it's there for you. Okay, so we're going to start by putting all of our data into our cells. So we're going to start with column A, and we're going to do concentration in column A, and then we're going to do absorbance in column B. And then I'm going to take this data that I have down here. So this is my data that I am going to use in order to do this graphing. You will have other data that you will graph. So on the back of the worksheet, there's a whole other set of data that has some more data points, but it's the same process, so it's really not any different. So I'm just going to put in all of my values. All right. We always want to go back and double check to make sure that we have correctly inputted our data. Sometimes we'll think we'll type something in and we'll make a mistake, and that's going to have a really big impact on our graph. You'll also notice that there are more significant figures in our data than there are on our graph. Like I have here 0.30, but here it just says 0.3. That's totally fine. It's not really a big deal. If it bothers you, then there are these two increase decrease decimal place buttons here up at the top. So if I want to increase the decimal place, I can increase that, and then I can increase that and that and that. All right, but it's not going to change your graph at all, so that's not anything that you need to be super duper worried about. Okay, so now that we have our data inputted, we're going to highlight our cells, and then we're going to go up to the top here where it says Insert, and we're going to click that, and we're going to come to Chart, and we're going to click that. All right, and now we have a chart. All right, so my screen is a little small, so let me fix that real quick. So there's my screen. My graph is a little bit small, but that's okay. You can still kind of see what's going on here. All right, so we have set up our data. So now we are going to go to creating the scatter plot. All right, so you'll notice that when the graph that you get here is a bar graph or a column chart, and we do not want that. We want a line graph. So we're going to click on chart type, and we're going to scroll down till we get to scatter. And then there's two kinds. There's scatter chart and there is bubble chart. So we're going to do scatter chart. If you do bubble chart, it just gives you really big bubbles and it's difficult to see everything on the graph. So we're going to stick with scatter. Where do we go? Here we go. All right. So I've got a scatter plot. So now when I look here, I've got two different sets of data. So I want to remove one of the sets of data so that I'm only looking at the data that I want. So my first step is going to be to come over here to where it says x-axis, and I'm going to add concentration as my x-axis. And you'll notice on your graph now you have numbers on the bottom. And then we've got two series here. So it's got graphing concentration and concentration, and we don't want that because we want concentration and absorbance. So we're going to come over here to these three little dots next to concentration, and I'm just going to hit remove. Not remove all series, remove. And now I should have one set of data on my graph. It should say absorbance here. And then we'll just double check to make sure we have use row 1 as headers and use column A as labels. Perfect. So next we're going to label our graph. So we are currently in the chart editor on setup. Also, just an FYI, I should have mentioned this before, but if you, for whatever reason, get exit out of the chart editor by accident, like if it's not here anymore, you can click on your graph and that will bring it back. All right. So if you ever lose the chart editor, just click somewhere on the graph. You can also, if you click on the graph, there's these three little dots and you can hit edit chart and that'll do the same thing. So that'll take you back. All right, so we want to hit customize here. We've already selected our chart style, so we don't really care about that anymore. We've got what we want. So we're going to go to chart and axis titles. All right, so we're going to give our chart a title. So if you've entered concentration and absorbance in your cells, then it'll say concentration and absorbance for your graph name. We do not want that. We want absorbance versus concentration. Anytime that we create a graph, we always want to plot our y-axis versus our x-axis. That way, anyone that is looking at our graph knows exactly what they are looking at. We also want to specify what it is that we are looking at the absorbance versus concentration of. Because we always have the concentration of something, right? We need some kind of compound. So maybe, a nickel 2 sulfate or a copper 2 chloride. So we need some kind of formula. So to find that, we're going to go back here to our data, and we can see here that it says concentration of LiMnO4. So what we are looking at is the concentration of LiMnO4. It's not going to make the 4 little. There are ways to do that, but it's really not that big of a deal. We're just going to leave it the way that it is. All right. So now we have our correct title, absorbance versus concentration of LiMnO4. When you graph your own data, you're going to graph whatever it is that your chart tells you to. Whatever is in your table, that is what you're going to graph. All right, so now we are going to go to title format, and we're going to select bold because we want to be able to read our title, and then we also want to center it. So we're going to come here to alignment and click center so that our title is nice and front and center. All right, so if we come up here to chart title, this is a drop-down menu. So there's 3 other titles that we can change, so we're going to do that now. We have our chart title, so we're going to go to our subtitle. Your chart subtitle is always your name because I need to know who you are. All right, and then I'm going to center that as well. If you want to bold it, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And then we're going to go to horizontal title. And our horizontal title is going to be our x-axis. So on our x-axis, we are plotting concentration. And then we always want to include units because currently it just says 0.0, 0.2, 0.4, and 0.6, but I don't know what those numbers mean. When I put this M here in parentheses, that's telling whoever's looking at our graph that we are looking at concentration values in molarity. So that 0.2 is 0.2 molar, 0.4 molar, 0.6 molar. So it's telling us what is our molarity. All right, and then lastly, we're going to do our vertical axis title, which is going to be absorbance. Absorbance does not have units, so we're not going to put anything in parentheses there. You can apply this to any kind of graph that you're doing for any class. So for example, if we were plotting mass on the y-axis, then in parentheses, I would put grams if I was measuring my mass in grams. But since absorbance doesn't have any kind of unit, we don't put a unit there. All right, so perfecto. Now we have our graph correctly labeled. I've got my title, my name, and my axes are both labeled. And we have our plot points here. So now we're going to make our line. So we're going to go click down, and you can, if you want to minimize this again, you can click on this down arrow and it'll go away. It doesn't really matter if you do or not, but we're just going to scroll down and we're going to come over here to series, and we're going to expand that menu. And then we're going to scroll down to trend line. All right, so I want to add a trend line. The default here is going to be linear. So we're just going to leave that at linear. If for whatever reason yours didn't say linear, then you would just click on this and you would select linear. And then now that we have a line, we need an equation so that we have something to plug our values into. All right, so down here where it says label and none, I'm going to use equation. And on my graph now, it's going to pop up with the equation of my line. All right, and then we're not going to do the r squared. R squared just tells you how straight your line is, and we don't really care. We just need this equation here. That is what we need in order to do our calculations. Okay, so we have got our completed graph now. So on your sheet, there is one last thing that you can do. You can Customize. So as we were doing this, you might have noticed that there are a lot of different options for colors and fonts and things like that. So if you come over here to chart style, it will let you change the background color. It will let you pick a different font for everything. It'll put the border in a different color. So you can mess with all of these things. You can go back to chart title and axes, and you can see here our vertical axis isn't, the color is, the size is auto. The text color, we can change that to bright pink. And I'm going to make my title into this bright pink as well. So that's a little jarring to look at, but if that's what you like and that's what you want it to look like, I am totally fine with that. You can also here come over here and you can click on your line and you can make your line a different color. Let's do this lime green here. Oh no, I'm sorry, not the line. Those are your points. So you can make your points a different color, and then somewhere there's a way, oh here we go. Down here this is our line, so we can make our line a different color as well. So if you want to tinker with it, mess with it, that's totally fine, as long as you have the important information. Your data point should be correct. You should have absorbance on the y-axis, concentration on the x-axis, properly labeled with units, a title of your graph, and your name and the equation of the line. All right, everything else is totally up to you. If you don't want to mess with it and you just want to leave it alone, that's also totally fine. It's like I said, I don't really care. Okay, so now I'm actually gonna go reset this. Okay, so I just changed the colors back to something that was a little bit easier for you to see, and I got rid of my chart editor because I'm not gonna really need it anymore. All right, the very last step in this is to save and download your graph. All right, so to save your graph, we're gonna go to File, and you're gonna go to Download, and we wanna save this as a PDF file. All right, and then it'll show up here and you'll get a little print preview of what it looks like. We can see here that my graph is not hiding any of my data. If it was hiding my data, I can click on it and move it around so that I can see all of the data that I have entered and I can see my whole graph. And then once I'm happy with that, I can go back to download PDF. And then we're just going to hit this export button over here in the corner, and then it's going to ask you what you want to save the file as, and you can save it as whatever you want to, anywhere you want to on your computer. And then you're going to go to My Viewpoint and you're going to upload it under whatever assignment it is. So if you are doing this for the Beers Law graphing practice, then you would upload it under that. If you're doing this for your lab, then you would upload it under the lab. So wherever you're using it, that is where you're going to download it. Okay. So let's just go back to our graph really quickly and then take a look at the calculations that we're going to do. All right. So our first calculation is asking us what is the equation of the line. So our equation of the line is on the graph, 1.64, and that little star just means times x plus this value here is negative, so it put a negative here. If you get a negative value, you don't have to put plus a negative number. You can just write minus. So when we write our equation of our line, we're going to do y equals 1.64, and then I don't need a times sign. I know that the 1.64 is times x. And then instead of putting plus a negative number, I'm just going to put minus 0.012. All right, and that is the equation of my line. So the rest of my questions here, I don't really need the graph to solve. So I'm just going to close out my graph window, and let's take a look at the rest of our questions here. All right, so our next question here is asking what is the value of the molar absorptivity constant? So if we recall, our absorbance equation is A is equal to ABC. So if we kind of put that here on top of our equation of our line, A is equal to ABC, then our concentration is what is on the x-axis, so our x is going to be our concentration, and our absorbance is on our y-axis, so wherever we have a y, we're going to substitute in our absorbance, which leaves our A and B to be 1.64. So A is the molar absorptivity constant, and B is the path length. We said that our path length is always going to be 1 centimeter, which means that this number right here is the molar absorptivity constant. So the molar absorptivity constant is the slope of the line. So the slope of my line here is 1.64, And then units for molar absorptivity are going to be either 1 over molar centimeters or molar -1, centimeter -1. So now we have our molar absorptivity constant. So let's kind of get to the meat of why it is that we are here. So our last question says, what is the concentration of an LiMNO4 solution that has an absorbance of 0.548? So the whole point of creating the graph and finding the line is to be able to plug absorbances in to find unknown concentrations. This is what you're going to be doing in lab. So in lab, you're going to have an unknown, you're going to find its absorbance, and you're going to use the equation of your line to figure out what the concentration is. So we said that absorbance, A, is the same as my y variable. So in my equation here, instead of y, I'm going to put 0.548 equals 1.64. And I said that my x is my concentration, so I'm going to put that C there for concentration, minus 0.012. So now I'm going to rearrange my equation to solve for C. So I'm going to start with this minus 0.012. I'm going to add it to both sides, so this term goes away. Add it over here, and I get 0.6, nope, just kidding. 0.560 is equal to 1.64 C. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 1.64. And that is going to give me a concentration of 0.341 molar. And the sig figs that we're going to use for our concentration are going to be equal to the sig figs in our absorbance. So our absorbance here is 3 sig figs, so my answer is also going to be in 3 sig figs. Okay, so that is how we graph Beer's law, and that is how we do our Beer's law calculations. This has been another episode of Chemistry with Capadia, tutorial edition. I hope you learned something, and until next time, keep on chemin'.